If it's Monday night, oh yes it is. Ridiculously Raw. Hello friends, it's Ridiculously Over. Anthony Fleur here with you for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. Wish I could say we were delighted to be here as always, but I got to be honest with you, we're really not, because this show tonight, let me tell you, what a difference! A few hours makes. I'll tell you. This show started off so hot and so promising, and then in one found swoop, went downhill, way downhill, and not in a good way. And it's because of that downhill, that we are going to have quite a few cutouts this evening, if I do say so myself. So if you're new to our show, and when I say cutouts, it means stuff we're not even going to bother reviewing because it was that bad. Trust me. We're only going to talk about the relevant stuff, and there was relevant stuff. Of course, there's relevant stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. So case in point, we're going to start it off right here and now. But before I do that, joined as always by my elite panel here, of course, the host of the Cerebral Smack Talk, our Cerebral Viper himself, Michael Fletcher. I also got the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and the Twisted Angel, Didi Woodson. So with that being said, let's dive right into our this newest installment of Ridiculously Raw on this Labor Day night here. Of course, we're going to review Monday Night Raw, of course, and then from there, we'll have my Tony's take on the Cruiserweight Classic. And you know I always give positive reviews of the Cruiserweight Classic. This week, no exception. But this particular Cruiserweight Classic that I'm going to get into this week may be the most positive review of them all yet. And then from there, I'll also have my take on Impact Wrestling from a week ago. So, all right. With all that being said, let's dive right in. Monday Night Raw was live tonight from the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. And we started it off with an in-ring segment. We had Monday Night Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon, along with General Manager Mick Foley. If you noticed at the very beginning of the show, we had balloons raining down from the ceiling. You're like, balloons raining down from the ceiling? What happened? No, nobody. It wasn't like somebody won $1 million on a game show or anything like they used to on those awesome lottery game shows back in the day. And believe me, you would have been more entertained by watching some of those on YouTube than this Monday Night Raw tonight. If I'm going to be real honest with you. No, nobody won $1 million. Nobody won a new car or anything like that. It was to commemorate the celebration of the brand new WWE Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. And that brings out Kevin Owens. Of course, there were balloons raining down from the ceiling. You also had streamers. You also had Michael Fletcher's favorite, the pyro. We all know how much Fletch loves the pyro from the ramp. And Kevin Owens, basically comes out and, talks about how he won the Universal title, and then he rips on the fans. Obviously, that means he's still the heel. I mean, there was some speculation, but clearly the heel, because he ripped on the fans, saying, "You don't deserve it. It was my moment." And basically that was it. And then that brings out Seth Rollins. Rollins is livid beyond words, and then confronts Stephanie and says, after everything I've done, with the authority and everything else, I carried the company for the last couple of years, and this is how I'm rewarded for it. And then the whole brouhaha goes down, and initially indefinitely suspends Seth Rollins, but Mick Foley vetoes that, says no, he's not suspended. And what he did say is that at Clash of the Champions, Seth Rollins, you will get your rematch. You're gonna go one-on-one with Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship at Clash of the Champions on the 25th of this month in Indianapolis. Nothing left to say here except, well, this was the segment of the night, no question about it. A very hot opening segment, and this is when the show was hot. Trust me, this was when the show was really getting going. It was a very good opening segment, and the most compelling. I mean, it appears that Seth Rollins is going babyface, and they are keeping the mystery alive when it comes to what Stephanie knew about what Triple H did last week. So this announcement shouldn't have come as a surprise to anybody because there were some dirt sheets that came out and leaked. Well, it wasn't really the dirt sheets. It was actually the arena website, the Bankers Life Fieldhouse website. You know, Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is where Clash of the Champions is going to take place on the 25th. They leaked this match out as their promotion for the Clash of the Champions, and obviously the dirt sheets picked up on it this past weekend, and well, no big surprise. Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship will headline the Clash of the Champions, and that should, I think, be a phenomenal match given the roots that these two have. So, very hot opening segment. This was far and away the segment of the night, no question about that. So with that being said, I'm going to throw it up now to the Cerebral Viper and the host of the Cerebral Smack Talk, the one and only good old MF, Michael Fletcher. And MF, your thoughts on this very hot opening segment when the show was hot?
I mean, very hot is not even the word I would say. It was downright amazing how this show started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and so glad to be here as always. Yeah, Anthony, I think it was awesome. First off, Stephanie was in the backstage trying to set everything up, get the balloons, get the confetti, get the pyro. I mean, we need awesome pyro, the top of the line, WrestleMania style pyrotechnics, and they did it. I mean, it was amazing. Wins the Universal Champion. If you guys noticed I don't know if this was earlier today or a couple of days ago, the nameplates was put on that Universal belt with Kevin Owens. KO on one side, Fight Owens, Fight on another side. You have your reservations and your thoughts about the belt itself, how maybe it's not the most glamorous WWE championship we've ever seen. I mean, some people were saying they should have gone back to the Eagle wing belt of the 1980s. My personal favorite was the WWE Undisputed title, the one that the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, during the Ruthless Aggression era days. That belt was my personal favorite of all. You should have brought that belt back. You guys could have made that into the Universal title, and I think fans would not have griped about that either. But as far as the segment goes, it was really good. I loved what Kevin Owens doing, plagiarizing to the crowd, trying to say, you know what, I'm the champion here. You got to respect me. And Seth Rollins comes out, puts his heart on his sleeve, and gives probably one of the most impassionate, infuriating, unbelievable promos I've ever heard from him in all my years of watching wrestling, man. I mean, this was absolutely downright phenomenal. Seth Rollins had me on the edge of my seat, and I loved every minute of it. And then I love the fact that what Stephanie and that Stephanie and Foley thing. Stephanie was the commissioner. Foley actually won up to her and says, "No, I veto the fact that you're going to suspend him indefinitely. I'm going to reward him. He deserves a title shot, and he'll get his shot at the Clash of Champions." And some fans were booing. I was even booing because I was hoping for a title fight tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. But I love the backstage moment as well with Stephanie and Foley. Foley's like, "Look, I can make the match. I'll make you the money. Don't worry. I understand you're mad at me, but but this is best for business. This is going to be great. The fans are going to go wild when they see Rollins versus Owens for the belt. This is going to be a great matchup. You got to trust me on this." Stephanie's like, "Fine. I trust you on this. And all right, I'll let that pass. But don't you ever try to pull a stunt like that ever again, because if you do, I am going to rain terror down on you." That whole segment was amazing, man. There's nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours, my friend.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, this was the segment of the night. I mean, yeah, Kevin Owens, of course, being his usual self. I mean, saying, well, yeah, even though the fans said you deserve it, but he says, you know what? I don't need the WWE universe to say that. I knew I deserved it the whole time when I first came to the WWE, and this is why Triple H was so high on me. I mean, yeah, he may have gave me a little nudge, but 98% of it was me, and then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins came out, and yeah, I agree. I think it was probably one of the best promos Seth Rollins to me has ever given, because like you said, he wore his heart on his sleeve, and he basically came out and was rip. Well, not only Kevin Owens but Stephanie McMahon, saying that he thinks that him and that her and Triple H were in on this. And Stephanie basically kept saying, you know what, I had nothing to do with this. I didn't even know my husband was going to show up. And obviously Rollins wasn't buying into it, and then Rollins basically started jumping Owens, and like you said, Stephanie was going to suspend him, but General Manager Mick Foley says, you know what, that's not going to happen. Rollins will get his rematch at at Clash of the Champions. So yeah, definitely a great promo and a great way to start off Monday Night Raw. So Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Edie Whitson, you with us?
Well, her mic's is on, but
I
it seems
think
like
she
we
might be
can't
having
hear her.
mic issues.
I think that could be the
Yeah,
case.
I think she's having mic issues, Anthony. I mean, you know.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, sure thing. But yeah, while we wait for
we just lost her.
She need. Well, you don't have the text chat box on your iPad, Bullock. She said let me re-enter, so she's gonna just try to get herself situated. So, but yeah, while we wait for her to come back in, hopefully she'll be all set to go by then. Yeah, that was one hell of an opening segment to start this show off, and I mean, especially coming off of that unbelievable main event. All right, we got her back in. Hopefully she's all set to go now. Edie Woodson, if you're all set, we'd like to get your thoughts on that red hot opening segment there.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we got you.
All right.
You're all clear. Go ahead, girl.
I think what happened is a few minutes ago, my headset came unplugged, and it's a USB headset. So usually when that happens, I have to reset everything. So I think that's what happened. I thought it was a really great segment to start what I hate to say was not the best show in the world. I like the backstage segment that they had before, where Foley mentioned about her being, you know, there in '98 when he was consoling a friend, and you know she was that little shy girl that was just smiling at him, and you know, and she's pretty much was trying to say, well, you know, I'm still the same girl, you know, just believe me on this. So, you know, I loved how they did that right before the opening, and then you had the segment where they all came out for the celebration, and Rollins interrupting, and you know, Rollins made a lot of points in his speech, and it was, you know, very very good, very good there. I do like how Foley is standing up for himself with Stephanie, you know, making sure that she knows that he isn't going to be a yes man to him or to her. So so I'm looking forward to seeing how this match is going to play out at the pay-per-view. and especially with the announcement that happens later on in the show. So I'm going to toss it back to Florio.
All right. So with that said, let's move on to our first match of the evening, and it was a women's match. We had the women's champion Charlotte, accompanied by Dana Brooke, going up against Bayley. And the winner of the match in 12 minutes and 40 seconds, it was Bayley. It's Bayley. She does it again. The Bayley to belly for the 1, 2, 3. Women's title not on the line. This was a non-title match. So Bayley wins the bout in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. MF, what do we think about this women's match?
Terrific match. Well done. The storyline of this is Bayley is now a legitimate contender. She's now going to go for the women's title of Monday Night Raw, and it could not be any better. A great outcome, a great matchup. And, yes, I understand, it was sloppy in some moments. I'm not gonna knock that. End of the day, I love the story, and this was, once again, Bayley being the underdog, Sasha being a real strong champion, looking really good, and then when Bayley started to look like she caught fire, she was looking really good. It looks like Charlotte was looking for Dana Brooke, trying to look for some help, some kind of backdoor way to win this fight, and everything goes south. Basically, Dana jumps up on the apron. Charlotte knocks her off the apron. That leads to the Bayley to belly suplex and the 1, 2, 3, and a major win for Bayley to basically get now into contention for the women's title. And you got the fans were like, hey, we want some Bayley. Well, you got Bayley tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and it was very sweet. It was very nice. I'm going to say the prototypical, or the one that you bring home to your mom and to your dad, and she is as sweet as apple pie is Bayley. And do it anyway. And I know Anthony was waiting for me to do it. So and I'm pretty sure the crowd did it tonight as well. But it goes, hey Bayley, I wanna know if you'll be my girl. Michael Bullock, it's yours, my brother.
Man, I don't know how the heck am I going to follow that, but what was your rating for the match, Fletcher?
I'm going to give this about 2.5 to 3 stars.
All right. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't hear your rating. So yeah.
Because I didn't give it until just now.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. I'll give it a solid 3 stars. I mean, I could have given it more. I mean, with the way the match was, but the thing is, Fletcher did bring up a good point. I mean, yeah, there were times the match was a little sloppy, so I have to take some points away. But still, I mean, you can't take away from the match that we saw. I mean, yeah, Bayley. I mean, with this win, she solidifies herself as a threat to the WWE Women's Championship, and she's gonna become the number 1 contender for that title. And yeah, I mean, Dana Brooke, I mean, it looked like she was gonna help out, and Charlotte trying to steal the win, but it all blew up right in their face, and yep, Bayley gets a huge win, and let's just say Charlotte was not too happy with Dana Brooke, as you saw backstage. She gave Dana Brooke a slap that'll basically, well, hurt anybody. Yeah, I mean, it's Charlotte's way of basically saying, do not disappoint the Queen. Well, the Queen got dethroned tonight by Bayley, as as a proud member of the quote unquote hugger section now. So, and all I can say is, as a proud member of that section, I'm happy Bayley got this win. So 3 stars is my rating. Didi Woodson, what do you say about this match?
Well, like, unfortunately, we lost Didi.
All right,
Anthony, take over.
All right, so Anthony, I give it to you.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Looks like she's probably going through some hard times.
Yeah. Just bear with me for a moment. I'm actually messaging Didi Woodson now. She's responding. Just give me a moment while we wait for her to respond. I don't know if this is hopefully it's not bad news. Hopefully we're not going to be losing her tonight. All right. Oh, okay. She said she's restarting her laptop. She had to restart the laptop because the Hangouts because our Hangout froze while Fletch was going on his review. So yeah, she said you had to restart the laptop. Restarting laptop because Hangouts froze while Fletcher was talking. And just gonna check with her and see if she's gonna be back in. All right. We're gonna resend it, and we're gonna. All right. All right. She asked me to resend the invite, so hopefully I just did. So hopefully she'll be back in within a matter of moments, and then we'll get her thoughts on this women's match with Bayley and Charlotte, which was definitely one of the top fights of the night. No question about it. It was definitely one of the top 3 fights of the night. Not quite the fight of the night. I probably would say maybe second or third best fight of the night. It's definitely within that area, if I'm going to be real honest with you. I mean, I definitely agree with the rating. I'm like I told Bullock a little earlier, I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars. That's what I'm going to do. 12 minutes and 40 seconds. I mean, we knew they were going to work well together. I mean, that's all there is to say on that. I mean, we knew it was going to – I mean, I didn't think we were going to get the match right away, but we did. No women's title on the line. And Bayley getting the win here. So logical thinking would be to logical thinking would mean of course, would mean Bayley would be the next in line. That would automatically put Bayley in that #1 contender spot. Well, there may be somebody else who has something to say about that, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit. Believe that. So, all right. So, but I'm definitely gonna give it 3 stars. I mean, very good match, like we all said. I mean, no question about that. So that's all there is to say on that. So while we wait for Didi Woodson, let's unfortunately, this is where we got to start getting into the cutouts now. And our first cutout of what will be many, unfortunately. Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas comes back. Bo Dallas back on Raw. He had a Believe in Bo sign, whatever. As you know, he was arrested over the weekend. Some alcohol type incident. I mean, I don't know what it was, but he was arrested. I know, and he's back. But he was back in the spoof of back. Oh, he got drunk in an airport. That's what it was. Okay, he was drunk in an airport. I forgot about that. So, but nonetheless, Bo Dallas was in a match. He went up against some guy named Kyle Roberts. He beats him in 45 seconds. Of course, that's an absolute dud. That's the worst. That's one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. So, yeah. So that was a done enhancement segment there. So, all right. So, but now getting back into relevant stuff here. We had Chris Jericho going one-on-one with Seth Rollins. Winner of the match in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. It was Seth Rollins via the pedigree. So, we got Didi Woodson back in. Wonderful. All right. Didi Woodson, I'd like to get your thoughts on your area, the women's match. It was Bayley against Charlotte. Bayley won it in 12 minutes and 40 seconds. About that. So Didi, if you're all set, if you have your issues worked out, let's get your thoughts on that women's match with Bayley and Charlotte, if you would. All right. I don't know. I think he's probably still having issues. I do see Didi back with us. I don't know if she's having mic issues or still having problems here, but let me see. Okay. Still doing the same thing, huh? Okay. Okay, I just wanted to okay, we got it back in. Didi, are you with us now? Can we hear you?
I hope so.
All right, we got you. Yep, we can hear you now. Your thoughts on Bayley and Charlotte, your area here, the women's match.
Give me a minute. I got to turn my cell phone off. It's echoing. Oh. Okay. Still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You kind of cut in and out though. It's very choppy, but I can hear you.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on my end. It's just in the middle of the Charlotte Bayley thing that Fletch was talking about. All of a sudden, my Google Hangouts just froze. So I have no idea what anybody has said up to this point. So, how many matches did I miss?
Only just the Charlotte and Bayley, which you're going to be covering right now, and then basically there was one other fight, the Bo Dallas fight, but we totally are not even going to attempt to talk about that fight. That's one of the cutoffs.
Good, because that sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlotte and Bayley, I really thought this was a very good match. Even with a little bit of interference that Dana did, it was still a very good match. For me, I'll give it probably 2.5 to 3 stars because, they came out there and they gave it their all. Even with Bayley, taking some bumps and bruises, she didn't give up. She kept going, and that's the kind of stuff you like to see is they actually come out there and they actually do what they're paid to do. So very good match. So I'll give it back to you guys.
All right, and like Fletch said, Didi Woodson, Bo Dallas squashed some Hammernager in 45 seconds, and now we're moving on to some big time relevant stuff here. Seth Rollins against Chris Jericho. Like I said, Seth Rollins won the match in 13 minutes and 40 seconds with the pedigree. Michael Bullock, we started off with you. Your thoughts on Rollins and Jericho?
Again, I thought this was a solid match between the two, and I'll give it about maybe somewhere between 3 to 3.5 stars. I thought the body of work of the match was spot on, and it's just something. I mean, Chris Jericho. He continues to put on good matches, and now doing this with Seth Rollins. It just proves it. And yeah, this was. I mean, I was just definitely impressed, and it definitely builds Seth Rollins up going into his match with Kevin Owens at the Clash of the Champions. So yeah, nice work done here by both men. So 3.5 stars is my rating. Dee Whitson, I give it to you.
I would probably agree with that. It was a really good match. To follow the lousy one that we just had before that. So I'm not going to say too much more about it. So I'm going to toss it over to Florio.
Well, this to me was the fight of the night, if I'm going to be real honest with you. 3.25 to 3.5 stars was this match. It was slow in some spots, but as it progressed, there was some good, believable near falls down the stretch. There was some good action throughout. Some good chain wrestling through the bout, which I enjoy. Me and my chain wrestling, the technical wrestling that Bullock and I love so much, and that's all I can say on that. And strong match that was far more competitive than I expected it to be. Jericho loses quite a bit, so I didn't think he would be so well protected. I'm not complaining though, as Jericho was doing great work, and this worked well for Rollins. It's still hard to get past the fact that Rollins was eager to accept Triple H's help last week and is only a babyface because Hunter decided to cheat for someone else. But the crowd was definitely behind him, so that's all I can say about that. So to me, this was my default fight of the night, 3.25 to 3.5 stars. So, MF, Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on Rollins and Jericho?
This was a good fight. Yeah, no doubt about it. I could say this was the fight of the night. 3.5 stars is my rating as well, Anthony. You did bring up a good point. More than anything else, Rollins needed the momentum boost, because they want to solidify him. Say, hey, he is a contender. What happened to him was BS, and now they're gonna make him look really good. So no, I liked what they did. They did a really good job, no doubt about it. It's back to you.
Okay. Yeah, very good match indeed. Fight of the night, no doubt. All right. Like I said, we usually cut off the short matches, but this was a short match, but this was a relevant short match. It was the third match of the best of 7 series with Sheamus and Cesaro. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 5 seconds. And now up 3 matches to none, rather. Sheamus wins it with the bro kick. And it was announced that match 4 of this best of 7 series is actually going to take place during a live event in London, England at the O2 Arena on Wednesday night. So it could be the beginning of the end, as Gorilla Monsoon would say, for the Swiss Superman. So, Dee Woodson, your thoughts on this? Sheamus up 3-0 now.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. If Cesaro, he's in this must-win situation. So if he wins the next 3, then we'll go all the way to 7. But if they continue the road they're going, I don't see that that's going to happen. But with WWE, nothing is ever new. So more than likely, Cesaro will probably win the next few. As for this match, I'll probably give it about 2 stars. But yeah, it was really short, and just it wasn't that big of a surprise on how it was going to end. So I'll toss it back to you.
Oh man, to me, I would say somewhere between 1.5 and 2. If I'm going to be real honest with you, 3-0 deficit now. Could be the beginning of the end for Cesaro. I mean, I honestly thought this was going to go the distance, but I don't know. I mean, there is a very strong possibility of a sweep here. And like I said, the 4th match will be Wednesday night at a live event in London, England at the O2 Arena. And that could be where Sheamus puts it away and puts himself next in line for a possible championship bout down the road. But I don't know. Something in me tells me that Cesaro could be the WWE's version of the Boston Red Sox. I don't know why, but I'm getting this feeling that there could be a possibility that he could force it to a seventh match, but I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see on that. But I know a lot of the purists are saying that it's gonna end on Wednesday night at the O2, but I don't know. There's something in me that thinks Cesaro is gonna find a way to stay in this thing. I don't know why, but we'll see. But for right now, this was a 1.5 to 2 stars. So Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on this development? Sheamus up 3-0 with a chance to put it away Wednesday night at the O2.
I could give it about 1 to 1.5 stars. I agree with you, Anthony. This is by far the worst fight of the entire series. I think we can all say that Cesaro is just broken down. He's not at 100%. I think we all can agree with that. He just looks like he's in real bad shape. I think, the first thing was a lot of people thought all this was going to go to 7. But now I think they might want to just end the series, because if Cesaro is not at 100%, there's no need or no point to continue this series on, unless they try to do that. Give them that that college try and let them come back and make this into a series. But I'm gonna honestly say I don't think I don't know. I don't know what to think. So we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, 1 to 1.5, worst fight of the entire 7-game series. Bullock is yours.
Yeah, 1.5 stars. I mean, yeah, I get this bad feeling that this is going to end on Wednesday. I mean, because like you said, I mean, it looks like Cesaro's broken down and not at 100%. And I mean, I want to believe that it's going to go the distance and somehow Cesaro will come back, but I just don't see it happening. I just somehow do not see it happening. I mean, I'm trying to stay positive about it, especially as a member of the Cesaro section, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Sheamus is going to sweep that series and become your next #1 contender for the Universal Championship. You could just book me on that right now. So, Florio, let's move on.
And now we are going to move on, folks, to the shocker of the night. The Shining Stars. The Shining Stars were in the ring. We thought this was going to be, a dud enhancement match, whatever, because they went up against Enzo and Cass. And a lot of people are saying, oh, Enzo and Cass won this thing easily. Wrong. We had an upset. The Shining Stars, yes, you heard me right. The Shining Stars defeated the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team in but there's nothing left for me to say like this. Stars will be that team. This to me was another solid 2-star bout, because there was a commercial break before it, and Enzo and Cass had a very funny pre-match shtick, but unfortunately the Shining Stars got the last laugh. So wow, what an upset indeed. And this is obviously going to be a feud with Enzo and Cass and the Shining Stars now, that especially with the Stars going over here. So yeah, Primo. Well, Enzo dove on to Primo in the ring, and then there was a roll up, and that was it. So yeah, so solid. I'm going to give it a solid 2 for the effort. So I don't know what else there is to say except Michael Fletcher, the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team, goes down to the Shining Stars. What an upset!
What an upset! And you know what? I'm going to say it. He rolled them up, pulling the tights and getting the win. It is classic Jesse the Body Ventura lingo, but it happened here, and oh my goodness, we were more than floored with this one. Yeah, 2 stars is the rating, because you get the shock value. Everybody thought Enzo and Cass was going to have an easy time, an easy victory. Unfortunately, that was not the case. The Shining Stars gets a win. Props to Primo and Epico and props to WWE making it, fresh. Something that we didn't expect. It was a little bit of a foreshadowing that we thought we had going in? Nope, it wasn't. It was definitely a big victory for the Shining Stars. And, they want to make the tag team division a little bit relevant here. They're trying their best to try to get something out of nothing because of the fact that, yes, you got the New Day and yes, you got Anderson and Gallows, but after that, where is the rest of the division? There's a major drop off after you get Anderson and Gallows and the New Day, because after that, then it's who's the third? Who's the next contenders? So you don't have any legitimate threat for that tag team division, so you got to build it up. So what do? Enzo and Cass, they actually jobbed to the Shining Stars just maybe for one night, because like you said, to develop more of a storyline, because sooner or later, once that top tier goes, which is either Anderson and Gallows and the New Day, when they settle their thing, you need somebody else for that next battle. So to be the next contenders for the tag team titles. So it kind of has to work one way or another. So we'll see what happens. But 2 stars just for the pure shock value. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, I'm going to give it 2 stars for the, like you said, because of the shock value. I mean, and like you said, I mean, we were all thinking, this is going to be your typical Enzo and Cass going over some bad tag teams, but nope, that did not happen. I mean, we got the upset, and you gotta give props to WWE. I mean, they really, they really wanted a fresh thing for their tag team division, because like you said, I mean, you do have the New Day, you got Gallows and Anderson, and then like you said, who after? I mean, who knows? I mean, we could see a little bit of a rivalry with Enzo and Cass and the Shining Stars, and maybe one of those two could be next in line for a shot at the tag team championship. So we'll just definitely have to wait and see how all that goes. But definitely, this was the shocker of the night here, no doubt about it. So 2 stars just for the mere shock of what happened. So, Dee Woodson, what says you?
I pretty much agree, so I'm just going to leave it there and toss it back to Anthony.
All right. Let's see. All right. Moving on now. Okay. And then this is where it all really goes downhill. We get a Nia Jax squash. Nia Jax squashes a gorgeous, gorgeous blonde by the name of Ann Esposito. Knocked her off in 1 minute and 40 seconds. Yes, this was another absolute dud. Another one of the worst fights of the night. I am going to let you know. I just found some research here, and Ann Esposito is no slouch. I'm going to be real honest with you. I just found out on social media. I came across it on social media. She actually is the current World League Wrestling Women's Champion. Yes, World League Wrestling Women's Champion. Her actual name is Monica Pescieri. She's an Italian pro wrestler, and she currently holds the World League Wrestling Women's Championship of the Harley Race Academy. Yes, that is Harley Race. That is the great Harley Race's wrestling promotion right there. If you didn't know, the Hall of Famer, the legendary King Harley Race, handsome Harley Race, whatever you want to call him. I call him 7-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. That's what I call him. And WWE Hall of Famer, class of 2004. Yeah, Harley Race operates a wrestling academy, like so many other wrestlers do. Like Booker T and the Dudley Boys, they have these promotions, and this young lady, Ann Esposito, who, yes, she may have gotten squashed by Nia Jax, but you notice she actually did get a little bit of some offense in there, a little bit, maybe more than any other of these young ladies who have had to do the job to Nia Jax. But I'll tell you what, Ann Esposito, Monica Pacitti, whatever you want to call her, she's no slouch. Anytime you have an independent wrestling promotions women's champion in there, that makes her no slouch to me. So yeah, she was trending all over social media, I'll tell you. So and she happens to be a very good friend of Alicia Fox as well. So just wanted to enlighten you folks for a little bit. So so yeah, look her up on Twitter at Monica Pacitti. The World League Wrestling Women's Champion, Harley Race's promotion. So little food for thought on that. So but nonetheless, it was a Nia Jax squash, minute 40 seconds. We're not going to get any more into that, so we're done. So, and you thought it couldn't get any worse than a Nia Jax squash, right? You're thinking it can't get any worse, right? Wrong. It did. Oh, well, boy, did it get worse. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they come out in this absolutely horrific segment with the New Day. They bring out these ham and eggers dressed as the old day, and I thought their doctor gimmick couldn't be any worse. Well, this is actually worse, and oh, this was horrible. I'm not even gonna. I mean, I love and respect my panelists, so I love and respect these guys way too much. I'm not even gonna bother torturing these folks. I'm not gonna have them. I'm not gonna have them dignify this segment. I'm not even gonna dignify it. So Jason Powell said it best on his review here. He says, "Ugh, I wonder what 2014 Anderson and Gallows would tell the 2016 version if they could travel forward in time. I hope future Vince McMahon can travel back in time to tell current Vince that 3 hours of Raw wasn't worth it in the long run." So I think that pretty much sums it all up. So yeah, this was like Derek Ferrero would say, hot garbage, and it certainly was hot garbage. And I can honestly say it was the worst in-ring segment on Monday Night Raw this year. So, oh, what I would give to watch that Daniel Bryan retirement segment again, or the Shane McMahon return. One of those two would be fine with me. So, yeah, we're not even going to get into that, but something did come out of that, believe it or not. At the Clash of the Champions, Gallows and Anderson will be challenging New Day for the tag team titles again. So, yeah, hopefully that match will be better than this steaming hot piece of monkey crap. That's exactly what it was. So, and believe it or not, folks, it gets worse. Yes, it does. Darren Young with Bob Backlund goes up against Jinder Mahal. Darren Young wins the bout in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Titus O'Neil comes out, yada yada. So more hot garbage, another dud. I mean, we're not even gonna get into that. So, and unfortunately, you're saying, come on, surely it doesn't get worse from that. Ugh, I hate to do it to you, my friends, but it does get worse. You're like, how can it get worse? Well, how about another Braun Strowman squash for you? Okay, so it wasn't against, some local ham and egger off the streets. It was against Sin Cara, but still, it was a squash. Braun Strowman beats Sin Cara in 2 minutes and 10 seconds via count out. Another smarky Jason Powell comment here. For Sin Cara's sake, I was actually hopeful that Strowman was going to unmask him too. Yeah, I actually like that comment a lot better than the match itself. So I'm pleased to announce that's the end of the cutouts, because we have 2 more segments to get into, and they're both relevant. Trust me, they are. It was boss time. It was Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, she posted a tweet on her Twitter earlier today saying that she had some bad news, and a lot of people were speculating. Was she actually going to announce her retirement? Was she pregnant? I mean, that's what I came across. That's all I'm telling you right now. Some folks are saying, oh, she's going to retire, or she's pregnant, or she could, or as I was initially thinking, she said she has bad news, but it's bad news for the women's division that she's been medically cleared. So Sasha Banks comes out and, you know, what else is there to say except she said that there's a saying that every journey has an end and every story has a final chapter. Sasha said that for years and years, the WWE Universe was searching for a revolution. She said before social media, there were women like Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, Luna Vachon, Trish Stratus, and Lita, and said that the revolution became a reality when Stephanie introduced the women's title. And she said there would be no more bra and panties matches or a stupid butterfly title. I'll tell you right now, that bra and panties comment, Vince Russo took offense to that. Okay, whatever. We did it, Banks said. We finally became what we deserve all along, to be called superstars. Sasha said it's about more than WWE. She said it's about every mother, sister, and daughter. It's about all of us. Banks said that her revolution is every time she steps in the ring, and she said she does it for every little girl who has a dream of being something bigger, and for every person who dreams of being more and who had nothing and were told they couldn't be anything great in life. She said she used to wake up with her mom at 6 a.m. to collect cans to save money for a WWE ticket. She said that's why she fights so hard, and it means everything to her. She paused, looked emotional, and said that she was pushed beyond her limit by Charlotte at SummerSlam and accused Charlotte of trying to break her back. And then Sasha said Charlotte beat her straight up. She said earlier today she met with a doctor who would give her an update on her condition. She said she had bad news. She was interrupted by Dana Brooke, and Dana Brooke interrupts, and Brooke said the only champion WWE needs is Charlotte. And Dana said she was going to finish what Charlotte started. Brooke entered the ring and was quickly put in the Banks statement. And then Banks said, yeah, I have bad news. It's not for you, Dana Brooke. It's not for the fans. It's for Charlotte. Let her know that at Clash of the Champions, that title is coming back to me. Whoa. Okay. Now, I don't remember who starts this off. I think Mike Fletch, is it you who starts this off? I think it's MF who starts this. Am I correct on that?
It's me.
All right. MF, what do we make of this development here with you and your mentor Bill McConnell's girl Sasha Banks?
Well, I'll say this. I mean, this is the best news WWE could possibly has happened. But then again, it's not a huge surprise. I think we all said it a few weeks ago that Sasha was, fortunately for her, she didn't have to go under the knife, and that is what the big story was that, you know, she had a back problems. She wasn't at 100%. That's why she lost the belt at SummerSlam, and a lot of people were wondering, what's that gonna mean? And you know, they said that they were gonna hold her out for a little bit, and then rumors started swirling actually that she might be back sooner than expected, because they actually announced that she did not need because if she needed it, I think she was going to be out for a long period of time, and that is when we were like, oh no, poor Sasha. Because remember, she just got the belt recently, lost it at SummerSlam, which was a stunning event. But now that Sasha is back and possibly at 100%, I don't know. But now think about this. Now we might be looking at a Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte triple threat at the Clash of Champions for the WWE women's title. I mean, this is going to be even bigger now because of the fact that, you know, now you have, I mean, if you remember, Sasha, Bayley, and I think Charlotte fought once before, and I think it was in NXT, and I think that night, that was for their women's title, and that fight blew the roof off the place. I think I remember it being at least 4.5 stars. I remember that night. It was an amazing triple threat fight, to say the very least. So, I mean, could we get that again this time around in WWE? We're just going to have to wait and see. But, no, definitely great news that Sasha, it looks like she is clear to go and ready to go. But, you know, you got to be very careful. That's going to be the biggest thing. Just be very cautious with what they're going to do And that's all we're going to say about that. So, Michael Blake, I give it to you.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, this was a solid segment here. I mean, with the way she was passionate about with what she said, and then after all that, when she said about visiting the doctors, it immediately clicked to me. At first, I was thinking like, yeah, she's probably going to announce her retirement, and then Dana Brooke comes out and and basically said she was going to finish what Charlotte started at SummerSlam, but wrong. We were both thrown for a swerve. Sasha Banks hits the bank statement on Dana Brooke, and she says, "You know what? I don't have bad news for the fans. I got bad news for the women's champion, Charlotte. And at Clash of the Champions, I'm taking back what's mine, the WWE Women's Championship, and it's going to be interesting to see how she'll be. I mean, how she's going to be. I mean, especially with the nagging injury. I understand it looks like she may be 100%, but we'll see how they do with her, and maybe they do make it a triple threat match, especially with having Bayley involved. So we'll wait and see as it progresses. So this to me was the second best segment of the night. So Dee Dee Woodson, what says you?
First of all, hats off to Sasha for actually giving a bank statement in heels. I mean, she was not dressed to wrestle, and most of the divas or girls, when they're out there in heels, they don't do stuff like that. So hats off that she actually pulled that off, wearing her high heel boots. This was definitely one of the better women's segments that I've seen in quite some time. After all the issues that Dana had done earlier in the night with the other match, I'm kind of surprised Charlotte didn't stop her coming out on this one, especially after the backstage slap she took from Charlotte. So this is, I was not surprised that entirely that Sasha said, that she was coming back for the title. But I am very glad she's back, and if it comes down to triple threat on the 23rd at that pay-per-view, then awesome, great. If not, then the next possibility is if Sasha does get the title back, could we see Sasha versus Bayley, which would be the two best friends going after each other. So it's going to be a very interesting night. Come pay-per-view time. So, Falero, I'll toss it back to you.
Yeah, I agree. This was the second best segment of the night, hands down, no question about it. I mean, if it wasn't for that hot opening segment, I would have said this was the segment of the night. But Sasha Banks with the crowd firmly behind her. I mean, what else is there to say? That was a fantastic promo that she cut, and then the swerve on Dana Brooke. I mean, I'm not at all surprised. I mean, I honestly thought when she said bad news, I'm like, yeah, she's got bad news, all right. She's got bad news for the women's division, that she's coming back. She's medically cleared, and sure enough, I was right. I believe I had that one. There was no way she was going to be retiring, and although that there was a small part of me that thought maybe retirement was in mind. And then there were a lot of fans speculating maybe she was pregnant because she just got married recently, but no, she's back and she's going to be going up against Charlotte at the Clash of the Champions.
My theory was I thought that something had gone wrong with her rehab, that she was gonna have to take the surgery. That was my feeling, was that she was gonna have to leave the ring for a little bit because that she would had to go on under the knife. That was my kind of crystal ball type thing.
Yeah, same. Yeah, there was a strong possibility of that too, but at the end of the day, I'm not at all surprised. And now we're going to see Sasha Banks and Charlotte for the Women's Championship. And But the big question is, where does that leave Bayley? Because remember, Bayley went over Charlotte earlier in the night. So we're going to have to wait and see if they make it a triple threat match or if they keep it a straight up one-on-one with Sasha. I mean, obviously, Sasha invoking her rematch clause that she has from dropping the bell at SummerSlam. So we're going to have to wait and see. Will it be a straight up one-on-one? Will Bayley get added and make it a triple threat? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. But triple threat, you think so? Yeah, it's very possible. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. We're gonna have to wait and see what Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon what they decide. So I'm all for a triple threat, obviously, but we just want to be sure about these things. You know me. So all right. With that being said, let's move on to the main event of the evening. All right, I just wanted to read that. Okay. Main event of the evening, it was Universal Champion Kevin Owens going one-on-one with Sami Zayn. Winner of the match in 12 minutes and 55 seconds, Kevin Owens with the pop-up powerbomb. And then after that, Roman Reigns comes out for a confrontation, and then Chris Jericho comes out, and then you bring out Mick Foley, and then Mick Foley makes a match from next Monday night on Raw. Roman Reigns one-on-one with Kevin Owens. And if Roman Reigns wins this match, Roman Reigns will then be added to the Universal Championship match at Clash of the Champions, making that a triple threat with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. So that's it for that. So Michael Bullock, we started off with you. Your thoughts on this main event and the post-match afterwards?
All right, I'm going to give it about 3.25 stars as my rating on the match. I mean, it was a good main event here. I mean, there were times. I mean, Sami Zayn looked like he was going to pull off the victory, but it was right at the end of the match. I mean, it looked like he may have done something to his knee, which pretty much led to the end for Sami Zayn with that pop-up powerbomb, and Kevin Owens gets the win, and Roman Reigns comes out to confront him, and then Jericho comes out, and Mick Foley's like, you know what? It's not going to be like this, so here's how we're going to do it. Next week, it'll be Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens, and if Roman Reigns wins, the match for the Universal Championship will be a triple threat match. So yes, so the Roman Empire looks like it could get another opportunity at the Universal title. So definitely makes next week's Raw very interesting. So 3.25 stars and a good way to close out, which I thought was unfortunately a disappointing edition of Monday Night Raw. So Dee Dee Whitson, I give it to you.
Yeah, it was a very solid main event to end the show. Yeah, I agree with Bullock on the ratings. Liked how Roman Reigns came out at the end, and then of course Y2J comes out also, and then Foley making this the match for next week. So, very strong match to end on, and I don't got much more to say on it, so Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, another one of this is also in the top 3 fights of the night category, no doubt about it. I probably would say by a smidge, the second best fight of the night. I'm going to give it about 3 to 3.25 stars. I mean, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn always work well together, and this match was no exception. The only small gripe I have was WWE failed to make viewers excited about getting the match again. They obviously went with the match tonight, and while I can accept that, I wish the build had been stronger. Owens and Zayn did their part with the limited mic time they were given, but everything from the announcement of the match to the lack of video packages and discussion from the broadcast team failed to make this feel as big as it could have, even with a same night push. So, but other than that, I mean, it was a fine match for what it was, and it was one of the top 3 fights of the night for sure. Second best fight, I would have to say, only behind Rollins and Jericho. I'd have to give this about, like I said, 3 to 3.25 stars. So I believe MF Michael Fletcher. Your thought? I don't believe we heard your thoughts on the main event. So your thoughts on it?
Good main event. Nothing bad to say. Yeah, I'll give it about maybe 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating for the match. But why is Roman getting another shot at the belt? That's the only gripe I got with this. Enough. Let it be Rollins versus Owens for the belt. Why do you need Roman to add? Why? I think this is pointless, unnecessary, downright wrong. Roman has no business getting another shot at the WWE Universal title. I'm sorry, I don't. Just plain and simple. Let's go to overall reviews.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. And remember, I mean, we all remember that thing with Rusev. I mean, who's to say that, something can't happen with those two regarding the United States Heavyweight Championship? I mean, I know there's got to be some unfinished business with that. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But all right, overall review time. We're going to start it off with Didi Whitson. So Didi Whitson, your overall thoughts on this, what started out as a hot show, but boy, did it go downhill in a hurry, and not in a good way either.
Yeah, I'm not real big on the show tonight. Surprisingly for me, the women's matches were, up there in the top of compared to what they had been in the last few weeks, where they were your typical ho-hum stuff. They're getting better with that, and that's something that for me is my biggest gripe with WWE is not letting the women have their equal shots. And Sasha said it all in her segment. They've been working as hard as they can now to become superstars. They're at that point now, and we'll just have to wait and see what comes out there. We had a couple of really good segments, maybe about 3 really good matches. So for me, I'm going to probably give it about 4 stars, because it just was not a show that. I'm glad this wasn't the go home show, because this is not the show I would want to see right before pay-per-view. So I'm signing off. Starting my new job tomorrow, doing training from 9 to 5. So I will see you all tomorrow night on the Cerebral Smack Talk. So have a good night, guys.
All right, you too, Didi Whitson, and best of luck on your new endeavor there. So we wish you the best with that. So
I'll keep you all posted on what nights I can work or do this, because once I start my normal job, it'll be from 2 in the afternoon to midnight. So
yeah.
So if I can't do the 2 shows, I'll make sure to put a link on one of the 2 shows to my reviews that I'll post on my channel. So I'll still give you all reviews, even though I may not be able to be at the show. So night all.
All right, that's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. So we definitely wish Didi Whitson the best on that, and she will certainly keep you posted as to her future status through us. So, all right, so she was basically like the Bret Hart not impressed Mimi on Mimi Jean. She gave it a 4 out of 10. I'm not gonna go that steep. I'm going to be a little more lenient here, because we did have 3 very good quality matches. You had a couple of middle of the road matches with one of them being a shocker, and then you had a couple of good in-ring segments. So I'm going to round this up to about 5.5 out of 10, if I'm going to be real honest with you. I mean, like I said, this show started off so red hot. It really did, with that opening segment. That opening segment, like I said, was was a fantastic follow-up to that fantastic main event, that epic main event we had last week, where Owens won the Universal title. And then right behind that, you had a very good women's match with Bayley and Charlotte, and then you had that small cool off with Bo Dallas, and then of course you throw in Rollins and Jericho, which I thought was by a smidge the fight of the night, and then pretty much everything after that, that's when it all went downhill, because Dud enhancement fights, campy comedy nonsense ruled the roost. And then it picked up at the very end with the Sasha promo, and then that Zayn and Owens main event. So to sum it all up, the fight of the night for me was Seth Rollins and Chris Jericho. Second best fight, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And then rounding out the top three, easily Bayley and Charlotte. And then you had, I would say maybe the Enzo and Cash Shining Stars upset as number 4, and then rounding out the top 5 would be Sheamus and Cesaro. But then you had that awesome opening segment, the Sasha segment, and those are pretty much all the positives from the show tonight. Everything else was negative. Dud enhancement matches. We had three squash. We had a Bo Dallas squash. We had a Nia Jax squash, although the young lady who Nia Jax squashed is not a slouch by any means, like I said earlier. And then you had Braun Strowman squashing Sin Cara. And then you had that god-awful Gallows Anderson New Day segment. I mean, that was hot garbage if I ever saw it. So 5.5 out of 10. That's my rating for this Monday Night Raw tonight. Started off so hot, and then before I give it to Fletch, I'll just sum it up by saying this. You had that hot start. When we had that hot start, WWE, Vince McMahon, Vinny, Mr. McDinkleberg, and his buck-toothed beaver puppet, Kevin Dunn, they were dangling that little carrot of hope right in front of all of our faces. And then when all the downhill stuff started, they yanked it away and said, "Gotcha." Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on this hot but disappointing show on this Labor Day night?
3.5 out of 10. I'm not going to make any bones about it. I'm not, you know me, I'm not one to really sugarcoat anything. If I don't like a show, I'm going to tell you flat out, I did not like the show. It started out so red hot with everything, with the Kevin Owens celebration and the whole 9 yards. I was so into it. I felt it. Really good. It was presentable, really good. And a lot of people were so excited. And dang, you had to pull the freaking rug out from under us and make us really almost wanted to shoot somebody at that point. We all were pissed off at that point. So, unfortunately, we got what we got. There's nothing more to say about it. Sorry, guys. Trainwreck City. Upward and onward. So, Michael, I give it to you, my friend. What did you think about the show?
This was bad. This really sucked ass. And I'm actually going to go lower than your rating, Fletch. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. I mean, yeah, you had some really good segments for this. Some good segments, some good matches here, but the Dud enhancement filler ruled the roots tonight, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. I mean, this show absolutely sucked ass, and yeah, that Mr. McDinkleberg and his puppeteer Kevin Dunn don't know how to run a freaking show, and this new era of Monday Night Raw, this show tonight, it sucked, and I mean, they could have done a whole hell of a lot better than what they did tonight. But what did Mr. McDinkleberg and Kevin Dunn do? You put it down the effing toilet. That's what you did. You bunch of assholes. So, way to go, you two assholes. I mean, you give this Monday Night Raw a red hot start, and then you put it down the toilet. That gives me indication that you don't care about what the WWE universe wants. You only care about what you want. It's all about this funny ha-ha shtick that you like, but you know what? We in the IWC, we don't like funny ha-ha shtick. We want good competitive matches, cut the dud enhancement filler crap, but no, you decide, oh, we're going to fill 3 hours of Raw with dud enhancement fillers and less of the good quality matches, but no, we don't want to see that. I want to see good quality segments and good quality matches and cutting the dud enhancement filler. Until you do that, you two can get the F out of here. Done. Finished. Florio, let's move on to your Tony's take before my head really explodes.
Sounds like it just did. That's all I can say on that. So
yeah, it just exploded. And I'll tell you this right now. If SmackDown Live tomorrow night if that's bad,
Oh,
I'm
no,
really
no,
going
no,
off
no,
big
no, no,
time.
no, no, no,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
First off, wait a minute. Whoa, time, Bullock. First off, SmackDown Live would never pull the garbage that they pulled on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, indeed
2
not.
hours, lesser show, and let me tell you, quality wrestling. I think SmackDown Live has been proven time in and time out that they can deliver under the clutch. Has it been a couple of underwhelming shows from SmackDown Live? Maybe one. But ever since they've done it live and doing their new shows, far superior, better than Monday Night Raw. No.
Tremendous.
I'm jumping in on this to defend my show and my crew.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'm just saying, I just hope they don't pull off what we saw tonight.
Don't worry.
But I don't believe that's going to happen.
No, not on tomorrow night's show. When it comes to tomorrow night SmackDown, when you have SmackDown Live tomorrow night, I mean, look what you've got on SmackDown Live tomorrow night. They're teasing a confrontation with Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles, and then throw in the 2 semifinal matches in the tag team championship tournament with the American Alphas against the Usos, and then with Heath Slater and Rhino going up against the Hype Bros. So we're just gonna have to look in. We're gonna have to see how that goes down tomorrow night. That'll be in Lincoln, Nebraska. So all right. Now we move on to the Tony's Take and get ready for my most positive review of the Cruiserweight Classic yet. It was on. Of course, it was on the WWE Network last Wednesday night. We had 2 matches as we start the Elite 8, if you will, the quarterfinal bouts. And the first match of the 2, we had Gran Metalik going up against Akira Tozawa. Winner of the match in 16 minutes and 6 seconds via pinfall, Gran Metalik. Gran Metalik advances to the semifinals. 4-star match. This was 4 stars, no doubt about it. 4-star bout. And that was an excellent match. Constantly building the action and intensity throughout and going home at just the right time. What I love about tournaments is that you see a guy like Tozawa use a move to win 2 straight matches, and then Metalik kicked out there, and it meant something because the crowd bought it as the finish. So very good match. Excellent match. 4 stars is my rating. And then we move on to the other match of the evening. Kota Ibushi going up against the Brian Kendrick. Winner of the match in 13 minutes and 57 seconds via pinfall, and going to the semifinals, Kota Ibushi with that powerbomb move of his. As great as that Metalik and Tozawa fight was, I thought this was a smidgen better. 4.5 stars. Whew. Wow. What else is there for me to say? I mean, let me see where my notes were here. All right. Just trying to find my notes here. All right. I have praised them previously, but I think one of the most underappreciated things in this tournament has been the story and work of Kendrick, the veteran that had fallen out of the spotlight, getting one last chance and doing everything he can to move on against the stronger, faster, and younger competitors. His work here on the neck was fantastic. They delivered excellent near falls. And when you add in the commentary of Daniel Bryan willing his friend to continue on and win, who was in tears as he praised his friend's effort at the end of the match, made it all the better. The only thing better than excellent wrestling is excellent wrestling with an equally as good a story. And that was this. And if you saw what happened post-match, Brian Kendrick in tears, the crowd going crazy, the crowd praising him, and then Daniel Bryan makes his way down from the commentary, from the broadcast booth to embrace his friend there. Oh, doesn't get any better than that. That was freaking awesome. And that's going to reflect in my overall rating of this show, which before I do that, next week, the other two quarterfinal bouts, Zack Sabre Jr. going up against Noam Dar and TJ Perkins going up against Rich Swann. That you will see on Wednesday night. Overall rating, 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, if you watch this and don't love it, I honestly do not know what to tell you. This was my favorite hour of wrestling TV this year. That's all I can say about that. So 9.5. Heck, I could even go make an argument and give it a perfect 10 out of 10. That's how great this was. So 9.5 to 10 out of 10. Best Cruiserweight Classic show yet. And I got a feeling the best is only yet to come when it comes to it. So well done. Well done. Now we move on to Impact Wrestling, and let's just say this: my review for that is not going to be as positive as the review I just had for the Cruiserweight Classics. So even though there were some positive moments, don't get me wrong. Started out with an in-ring segment with Mike Bennett and Maria in the ring, and then Moose interrupts, and then Bobby Lashley comes out, and basically Bennett and Lashley finalized their World Heavyweight Championship match for later in the evening. So then the whole thing with Moose and everything else, and excuse me. Yeah, Lashley was good here as usual and got to show a bit more of this confident edge on the babyface side. But with as good as Lashley has been as a heel, I would prefer he not try to overstretch his talents by having him be a babyface soon. TNA's Bad Pass has consisted of pointless heel and face turns. The setup of this confrontation is a bit clunky when you sit down and think about it, but at least Moose is at a better place now than being Bennett's lackey. So, yeah, solid segment for what it was, though. It was definitely one of my segments of the night. Then we had Crazy Steve going up against Broken Matt Hardy. Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy was with them. Broken Matt Hardy wins the match in 4 minutes and 17 seconds via the twist of fate. The match was fine. It was about 1.5 to 2, but there was no question that Hardy was the favorite here due to the Hardys being main eventers while Decay is still upper mid card. Steve actually gains from working with the main eventers while also losing due to Jeff cheating with weapon shots. It also worked out that Steve's goal was not to win, but to distract Matt from their goal of kidnapping Maxwell Hardy. So, yeah, so that's all I can say on that. Then we had the X Division guys. They were in there for it was an X Division gauntlet, Ultimate X match for the vacated X Division championship. The winner of that and the new X Division champion, it's DJZ. DJZ wins it. And to give the X Division a little credit, that finish was a nice throwback to Trevor Lee and Hurricane doing the same finish a few months ago to help Lee win the title. It still doesn't undo all of the damage that has been done. The X Division are just a cluster of guys who lack identities. They do talk shows together, they appear in commercials together, and they even turn the playground to play. The gauntlet style of Ultimate X could have meant something, but we're getting an average of 2 Ultimate X matches per month, and that unique match is just being buried into the ground. That's my X Division rant of the week. I actually hope WWE gets to their Cruiserweight division. I do actually hope that WWE gets to their Cruiserweight division soon, because I do apologize for that slight little pop-ups there. I get pop-up books once in a while. So, okay, so I don't know where that's coming from, but I do apologize for that little interruption. Yeah, I do apologize for that little interruption. I get these pop-ups beyond my control. So, all right. All right, where was I before that little interruption? That rude interruption, by the way. I actually hope WWE gets their cruiserweight division soon, and that TNA rips them off to repair the damage to this band of cliche high school nerd jabronis, or jumping jabronis, as Eli Drake called them. So, I mean, the match was good for what it was, though. I will say that, though. Give it about 2.5 to 3 stars on that. And then Drew Galloway with his with a promo, and Aaron Rex. I think Aaron Rex interrupted, right? Yes, Aaron Rex interrupted. Billy Corgan came out as well, and he considered suspending Drew Galloway without pay, but Corgan said he was convinced not to. And then, that's when they went at it. That's when the fight broke, and then they get into a brawl. So Drew was actually good on the mic here, and I was afraid we were going to see classic boring heel Drew McIntyre on the mic. I shouldn't have worried because Drew has grown a lot since then. I'm still not fully sold on Drew as a heel yet since he's such a great babyface. The reason the fans cheered EC3 over Drew wasn't because of Drew losing steam, but rather Drew looking directionless in his feud with EC3 while EC3 was still in other programs. I'm also not high on Aaron Rex being a Drew Galloway replica, which you can tell the creative team is fully aware of. Let's see where it goes. Also, another and that's where it is. Let's see where it goes. But it was a very good segment, though. Another one of my segments of the night for sure. And then we had Eli Drake going up against Ethan Carter III. We had a competitive match on this show, and Ethan Carter III wins it. I think it was about 6.5 minutes for the bout, and all right, yes. Actually, it was 6 minutes and 2 seconds. Better than expected match from Eli Drake, and good job to EC3 for putting on a solid performance while making Eli Drake look credible. Drake got a surprising amount of offense on the number 1 contender, but Ethan is a damaged sponge who isn't hurt by selling. Good match. 2.5 stars. That's how good I thought it was. So, and then we had Allie, the new Knockouts champion, coming out. Basically had a celebration. She was then interrupted by former champion Sienna. And then Maria says, hey, it was Gail Kim's fault. And she sent Sienna to the back and said, you have the night off. And then Maria says that Allie is always excited to do everything she says, but was confused about the purpose of the celebration. And then Maria just goes on a rant. She belittles Allie and said, who would cheer the assistant? Allie said she was actually an apprentice. And Maria said, no one wants Allie to say anything because she is worthless like all the people. She said Allie messed up her division in the celebration since she wants... Yeah, and then Maria said the celebration was for her opponent, and Allie said everyone had the night off, so who was the opponent? Maria said, you're going to lie down for me, and you're going to hand me the championship. Allie says no, and then she said Allie was nothing before she met Maria and demanded that Allie lay down, and then Allie was shoved down by Maria, and Maria covers her in 4 seconds, wins the Knockouts title. So Maria Kanellis-Bennett is your new Knockouts champion, ladies and gentlemen. And as bad as the build-up to Allie winning the championship was, that was actually a really good segment to babyface her to the crowd. TNA needs another babyface not named Gail Kim for the crowd to rally behind, and it looks like they might have one here in Allie. Thank God for the great Impact Zone crowd at this set of tapings, and they put Allie over very well despite the clunky build-up to this Gail Kim title quest. I'm actually intrigued to see if Allie gets over as the next generation babyface that TNA really needs. So that's all I can say about that. So, and then we had the main event of the evening, Bobby Lashley, Mike Bennett, TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. Winner of the match in 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and still TNA World Heavyweight Champion. It's Bobby Lashley. And, so it was strange to utilize Lashley as the conduit to turn Moose babyface, but at least it worked. Moose probably should have been a babyface in the first place due to his entrance theme, but it looks like they went through this convoluted path to get him a Bound for Glory match. Overall, it was not a noteworthy show, but a nice 2 hours to watch some developments in the world of TNA. It also served as one big trailer for the next final deletion chapter between Decay and the Broken Hardy Boys. And Rebby is walking around with a sword too, so that's enough to get scared and excited about. So it looks to me like that's going to be a 6-person mixed tag with the Hardys and Rebby. Rebby Sky, don't you know, former wrestler who's Matt Hardy's wife, going up against Rosemary and the Decay. So that should be some interesting stuff right there. If you thought that final deletion with Matt and Jeff was good, who knows how good that could be. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So as far as the main event goes, that was 2.5 stars as well. So as far as this overall review goes, I'd say a 5 to 5.5 out of 10. Not all that good a show, if I'm being real honest with you. I mean, there were so many ways this. I mean, this could have gone. This could have been a good show, but unfortunately, it really wasn't. If I'm being honest. Yeah, so that's really all there is to say about it. I mean, I do have a couple of notes. I do have a couple of misread notes here. The Matt and Steve fight, I'm going to give that 2 stars. I didn't have a time of the X Division match, but I got it here and now. It's 16 minutes and 23 seconds, and by default, that was my fight of the night, 3.5 stars. EC3 and Eli Drake, that was 2.5 stars, yes. I'm not going to bother with the knockouts because that was really nothing. That's an NR, NA, whatever you want to call it. And the main event, I'm actually going to bump that up to 2 3/4 because that was a solid match as well. It was a good, not overly great show. It was a 7 out of 10. I misread my notes here. Tonight was an overall good show based on the Ultimate X, the Hardy angle, and the fact that TNA is really locked in following up on the previous week and also setting up the next. With TNA being a non-factor in the pay-per-views, they have to be a quality episodic TV product, and that's what they have been this year. I'm still not a fan of the Knockouts booking, and it feels as if they need to do something. They need to decide what they want to do with Eli Drake. But I enjoyed the show overall. Also, I am hyped for Delete or Decay, and the Hardy segments were great tonight. So, or this week, or they were great on that show. So, all right, now we look forward to what's coming up Thursday night, Impact Wrestling. Let's see what's on the docket. I know it's that final deletion thing with the Hardys and the Decay. So let me see here. As far as what we have here. TNA is going to be debuting a new championship belt. That was they're going to be bringing in a new championship belt to replace the King of the Mountain title. They're going to be calling it the Grand Championship, and they're going to be starting a tournament on this show. Aaron Rex is going to go up against Trevor Lee in one match. Then there's going to be Maria Kanellis with a promo segment. And Dixie Carter is going to interrupt that. It's going to lead to a match later in the show, which I'm going to get to in a moment. Another tournament match, you're going to have Eddie Edwards going up against Mahabali Shera. And, of course, the Hardy Decay angle, the final deletion, if you will, a Moose segment. And then there's going to be a Knockouts Gauntlet match to determine the #1 contender for Maria Kanellis Bennett's Women's Championship. Gail Kim, Sienna, Jade, Marty Bell, Raquel, and a new knockout by the name of Laurel Van Ness, formerly Chelsea Green. You remember Chelsea Green? She was the young lady who played Daniel Bryan's therapist a couple of years ago during the Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella angle. So she's going to be in that match. So a brand new championship is going to debut in TNA. It's going to be called the Grand Championship. It's going to replace the King of the Mountain belt and a couple of tournament bouts to look forward to. So that's all there is to say on that. So I'm looking forward to that. So, all right, that's going to put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We hope you enjoyed it, even though we had to cut out a lot of stuff on that Raw review tonight. So, all right, we're going to do our shout-outs now. And Michael Bullock, we're going to start it off with you, and then we're going to give it to Fletcher, and then I'll wrap it up. So, all yours, man.
All right, we thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. I mean, yeah, even though we did have to cut out some crap segments or matches, but yeah, so definitely we thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, shout outs to all you great fans out there who support our shows, whether it's this or the Cerebral Smack Talk or our Strictly Sports shows. Of course, shout outs to, of course, our other super fans, Kevin, to the the rest of the Woodson family, and of course Matt Ward and Jason Hixenbaugh. Of course, to all of our friends from our high school days, Al Bretterson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the first lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the first lady of Strictly Sports, Kaisa Butler, to the Hardcore Pipe Bomb himself, Derek Ferreira, for his continued sports walk success. So, yeah, so that's going to do it for me. So, until later on tonight for an all-new edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, this is Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. And, of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, the road of Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. And, of course, enjoy your Tuesday, everybody. So Fletcher, your shout-outs.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there that makes our show as awesome as they are. You guys are the best fans in the world. Major love out that goes to the rest of my crew, which is, the guys from the junior high and high school days, the super fans, the 2184 crew. Love you guys as always. I want to give big props to Megan Silva, Adam Mitchell, Anthony Madara, some guys I got to hang out on Friday night while I was doing the draft. I was being entertained by them during the week. So, much love to you guys. Big shout outs to you as always. And, tomorrow night is later this evening is another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live. Hopefully, I can almost promise you it'll be better than Raw. I can only guarantee. I'm pretty sure about that, guys. But I do have some Ring of Honor. I got Ring of Honor news, and yes, this week is the return of Lucha Underground this Wednesday night, which means the next time. The week after, you'll finally get some Lucha Underground news. I got some RWA news. I got some the alternative wrestling reality, the AWR. There's some news with them. They actually do have a show coming up at the end of the month on September 30th, which actually kind of interferes with the hangout. I don't know. Now I'm torn. But I haven't gotten that schedule yet, so I don't even know if I'll be able to make that show yet. I won't know until then. I am definitely in on a Fatal Impact. I want to confirm that right now. I'll give you more details about it because we got 3 matches confirmed for the show. It's finally coming together. Until then, the routine. Huzz and Ham Hounds. I'm out. We'll see you guys later on. Flair, take it home.
All right, we'll do Fletch. And of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers who continue to make Ridiculously Raws and the Cerebral Smack Talk and Strictly Sports, our football shows, as ridiculously over as they are. We appreciate it as always. Before I give you my shout outs, I want to clear something up really quick. About the TNA, this new thing, this new championship, the Grand Championship. Now, listen to this. The new championship is going to be decided in matches consisting of 3 3-minute rounds and a point system, along with the use of ringside judges. And they're going to have a tournament to crown the first champion, with the final taking place at Bound for Glory on October 2nd. So that's what Billy Corgan's going to talk about. That should be starting the show. And then we do have there are 2 other matches I forgot to mention. In addition to Aaron Rex and Trevor Lee and Eddie Edwards and Mahabali Shera, Drew Galloway is going to go up against Braxton Sutter, and Eli Drake's going to go up against Broman's member Jesse Goddard. So just want to let you know on that. There will be a Mike Bennett segment on the show, and Moose interrupts, and it's going to lead to Mike Bennett versus Moose at Bound for Glory. Sorry, Fletch, your little world title theory about Bennett at Bound for Glory, that goes by the wayside, unfortunately for you. There's a Knockouts tag team match. Gail, Kim, and Jade are going to go up against Sienna and Allie, and then a Bobby Lashley promo segment. So, and then of course the deletion angle with the Broken Hardys and Decay. So that all goes down Thursday night on Impact. So, all All right, so now getting back to my shout-outs, like I said, all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make, whether it's Ridiculously Raw, the Cerebral Smack Talk, college football Thursday, or NFL Friday, as ridiculously over as they are, we appreciate it as always. Best fans in the world, you already know that. Of course, our super fans, like Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family. Dee Dee Woodson, the first lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, who starts her new endeavor. We're all very happy for her, even though it will possibly interfere with her commitments to this show. And if they do, she's still going to give you guys her reviews. So I think that's awesome on her part to do that. Of course, Matt Ward with his Rum Report Blogspot site. Check that out. It's a great read, just like Derek Ferreira's sports blog site is. Jason Hicksonbaugh, Dane Luttrell from the UK. Our other first ladies, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, and Lexi Calloway. And our friends from our high school days, Eric Carrier, Tommy Souza, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, and Rob Parsons. And I'll save the rest of my shout-outs for Friday night. And welcome to Premiere Week, everybody, because this is where our very busy new schedule goes into effect starting this week. We just wrapped up Ridiculously Raw here. Tomorrow night, of course, we'll be back with you yet again. We got the Cerebral Smack Talk. Michael Fletcher will have that for you. Braves Fan 95. We'll review SmackDown Live. The Dean Ambrose AJ Styles confrontation, as well as the semifinals of the tag team title tournament, American Alpha and the Usos, Hype Bros against Heath Slater and Rhino. And then of course, that will lead into Fletch's Mikey's Mindset with all the news he has for you on that. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say on that. And then Thursday night, of course, we'll be back with you 10:30 for week 2 of Strictly Sports College Football Thursday. Yes, we will have our first installment of our Strictly Sports College Football Thursday Power Rankings. And then same time, Friday night, yes, another show, Friday night, the season premiere of Strictly Sports NFL Friday. We're going to preview the remaining games of week 1. Maybe we could do a recap of the Panther Bronco game. I don't know, but or we could just go right into the games. It's okay. No power rankings there since that'll be on our inaugural show. And then on the weekend, we have Backlash. So I don't know if we'll figure out something with a preview show, maybe sometime on Saturday. And then, of course, Sunday night, we'll have the recap on Fletch's channel. I think Fletch should run that show, considering that Backlash is a SmackDown Live pay-per-view. I'm just saying, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. I'm sure we'll work something out. But we'll definitely have a recap show, though. That'll be on Sunday night when we recap the Backlash events. So very busy here at the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports. And I can tell you on behalf of these guys, we couldn't be any more delighted to bring you all this exciting content. This is going to be a very exciting next few months for us here. And quite frankly, we can't wait. And we're just getting the ball rolling, boys. So, all right, that'll do it for this edition of Ridiculously Raw. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, it's Ridiculously Over Anthony Fleury here for the Cerebral Viper and host of the Cerebral Smack Talk, Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, and Hardcore Pipe, I'm Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.